Apep, Apophysis, Jormungandr, Leviathan, just three of many ancient mythical creatures depicted from ancient civilizations. But these three mythical creatures are no ordinary mythical creatures. These mythical creatures engulf and surround the world. Apophis, sworn enemy of the sun god Ra. He was the most vicious out of the primordial chaos. He constantly threatened the divine order of the Egyptian pantheon, better known as the Neteru. Apophis is an ancient deity which is described as the embodiment of darkness and evil. He has earned the title of Lord of Chaos and is the sworn enemy of light. It is said that the movement of his body causes earthquakes, and the roar from his voice causes the entire earth to tremble. In Egyptian stories, snakes can be divine protectors or symbols of renewal, but Apophis was proven to be an entirely different destructive force and was the negative counterpart of the god creator. Apophis was the evil god of chaos, and his purpose was to swallow the sun. It represented everything that the Egyptian pantheon feared. According to the most popular creation myth, Apophis has always existed in the dark waters of the undifferentiated chaos before the primordial mound rose into existence. Another popular variation of the story is that the goddess Neith emerged from the chaotic waters and she sprang creation into existence, and that, thus, Apophis was born. Once creation began and order rose from chaos and the first sunrise appeared, Apophis was angered by the introduction of duality. It is said that Apophis made Ra his sworn enemy once the sun entered because it was a symbol of divine order and life. It was then the Lord of Chaos had an idea that if he swallowed the sun, that he'd be able to turn the universe back into darkness as it once was. Ra's job was to carry the sun from dusk till dawn, and every time that he would pass through the world of the dead, Apophis would constantly attack him in the pantheon of gods. Ra had many Egyptian gods and goddesses help him fight off Apophis, but no matter how many times he was defeated, he would always come back bigger and stronger than ever. Apophis is so powerful, it is said that his gaze can turn people into stone, and it is greater than Medusa. While sailing their nightly barge through the underworld, the Egyptian gods and goddesses were actually attacked by Apophis, in which he ended up freezing the Egyptian pantheon with his gaze. The only god that was unaffected by it was the god Seth. Seth, this was his redemption for killing Osiris. He had to stay on the barge and he had to fight off Apophis. Apophis in scriptures is often depicted as a dismembered serpent or dismembered giant snake. This comes from his battle with Ra, in which Ra turned into a giant cat, damn near nine tails Hokage, and chopped him up. When Ra turns into this giant cat or this nine tails, it is the embodiment of the protective aspect of the sun god, whose job is to guard the tree of eternal life and knowledge of the divine. This is why Egyptians were so fascinated with cats. They held cats to a high standard because a cat was a divine symbol of protection. The dead were often buried with spells to ward off the attacks of Apophis because he was known as a soul eater. According to the book of Apep by the Greeks, they depicted the Egyptians often going into temples and citing rituals and doing magic to dispel and dethrone the forces of Apophis and his dark, wicked nature. The Egyptians believed that every natural entity had divine essence instilled in them. And of course, the sun was the most divine. So when the sun would go down at night, they would pray to the sun in hopes that it would return during the day. It is said that Earth was meant to be a spiritual dojo where the spirits of the Creator would come down here to have a human experience. It wasn't until the worship gene was implanted into humanity to where we took the elements from outside of ourselves and started worshiping them in a physical form. It is widely known that the Egyptians would mummify their dead. The purpose of this was to trick the demiurge known as Yaldabaoth, because Yaldabaoth was a blind, jealous god. So the striking similarities between Yaldabaoth and Apophis is the fact that they are both depicted in the Egyptian culture.